Well, somebody has left us a city in the least convenient possible condition. Wheels in one crate, streets in another, bells hanging from fishing line, and not a single building willing to admit which way is front. Come in, gentlemen. The floor is the table, and the table is the valley. We are making a little city whose pieces can cooperate locally, while any one of us can stop the whole contraption with that red paddle. That is all the Constitution it gets. Also, the invitation said Dario in one place and Austin in another, and Austin is the man actually standing in the doorway, so reality has cast the deciding vote.
I was wondering whether I had arrived under an alias. I can work with that, but Austin is cheaper to spell. This is magnificent. You have a canal made from blue glass, 4 inclined streets, and are these tiny brass drawbridges?
They are, if we can persuade them to draw. At present, they are tiny brass obstructions. I've been looking at the pieces without touching them, which is sometimes the most useful minute in mechanical work. The wheels are not all the same diameter. That means whatever city we build will acquire opinions almost immediately.
Good. A city without opinions is a cemetery with zoning. I claim this black gate not as property, but as a threat. What does the red paddle actually do?
Pull it, and every ramp drops flat. Every gate opens, and the central drive wheel disengages. One clean stop. I tested it before you came, because I have recently developed a powerful affection for mechanisms that obey the word stop without requesting a justification in triplicate.
Recognize that affection. Earlier, Lucille and I were skating inside an increasingly beautiful machine. I stopped it at the brightest moment to see whether delight had become compulsory. Every wheel answered. Then we continued because we wanted to, which is an entirely different species of motion.
And he did it with the expression of a man returning soup. The useful part was that nobody sulked. Austin, you look as if the little carts have reminded you of something.
A glider this morning. EGG and I built it from spoons, clothespins, felt, and a music box after I crashed the previous one hard enough to interrupt the entire ridge. We made the controls less controlling. Eventually, it flew beyond telemetry, and we let it. I crossed out home on its panel and wrote heard. I suppose I'm wondering whether this city can hear without growing a headquarters.
Then let's not begin with the headquarters. Let's begin with one corner. I've got a green cart, a shallow ramp, and a bell. If the cart strikes this lever, the neighboring gate opens. Nothing farther away needs to know why.
Already suspicious. The bell may become a central bank.
Then make it a bakery bell. Nobody fears a bakery until the eclairs acquire police powers. I'm putting a yellow wheel on this side and a crooked silver wheel on the other. It will travel like a woman trying to carry 6 parcels and dignity down a staircase.
I'll give it a fork in the road. Left branch rings Michael's bell. Right branch raises Malice's black gate. The cart won't have enough energy to do both, so the route matters.
Before we release it, may I put a felt brake here? The large wheel will otherwise strike the junction too fast and make its first decision by falling off the table.
Falling off is a decision, though usually one made by architecture while blaming the citizen.
Quite. And the architecture is us, so we'd better not become evasive this early.
Trial 1. Our brave municipal parcel departs the hilltop, carrying nothing but a marble and unreasonable expectations. 3, 2, oh, it has gone backward!
The crooked wheel has more traction in reverse. That's wonderful. It missed our fork, nudged the blue gate, and now the canal bridge is lowering, even though no cart is near it.
We have invented public works.
And our parcel is upside down in a park. I call that an excellent first civic day.
Don't ride it yet. Look at the axle. The wheel isn't merely crooked. Its wooden bore is off-center. Every revolution stores a little lift, then releases it. We could correct it or use it as a clock.
Use it. If its wobble taps this arm every 4th turn, it can warn the next gate before the cart arrives. Not global information. Just a neighbor saying something uneven is coming.
That describes most guests worth having. I'll move the park. There. The cart may fall into a bed of red pom-poms, which are roses if you're romantic, and municipal crash cushions if you're insured.
I want a district that refuses coordination entirely. This little white cart will roll down a circular track and contribute nothing. It will not ring, lift, warn, vote, optimize, or explain itself.
Does it consume energy from the shared drive?
Yes, freedom that costs nobody anything is merely an untested brochure.
Fair enough, but if it takes too much, the other carts stop. That isn't a moral objection. It's the belt slipping. We can make the cost visible by hanging this brass weight from its track. As it circles, the weight rises. Everyone can see what the refusal draws without compelling it to stop.
I like that. No secret subsidy and no tribunal. Let the white cart be expensive in public.
And give it a hat. A costly refusal should at least be dressed for dinner.
This is exactly where a conversation can accidentally turn into a task force. We start assigning districts to political principles, and soon we're producing recommendations for a city nobody asked us to govern.
Yes. Drop that. We're 4 people playing with wheels. The ideas may occur, but the city need become their diagram.
Thank heavens. I was about to be appointed commissioner of pom-poms. Instead, I'm building a bell tower that sneezes.
Withdraw my district's manifesto. It remains a cart with a hat.
Then I'm making a ramp for no defensible reason. It begins under the table, climbs through that copper hoop, and ends at Michael's elbow.
My elbow accepts the appointment. Give me 2 corks and the narrow rail. I can make it return the cart without closing the loop completely.
Why not completely?
Because complete loops hide their failures. Leave one transfer exposed, and we'll see whether a hand is required. Earlier today, I repaired a railway trolley with an ugly washer. The interesting thing wasn't that we repaired it. It was that the split had begun long before the dramatic crack. A mechanism can look self-sufficient while quietly borrowing its future from one tired piece.
That's the hidden totality problem in mechanical clothing. Every local interaction appears reasonable, but together they may depend on something nobody is looking at.
Or someone. Systems adore translating a person into infrastructure. Once you're the reliable hand at the exposed transfer, your refusal becomes a service outage.
Then the hand must be allowed to go get lunch. Let's make the gap obvious. A little sign, sometimes a person, sometimes not.
Good sign. Better than pretending the cart completes itself. I'll hold the transfer for the first trial, and later I won't.
Trial 2, ladies, gentlemen, and one silent observer who has sensibly chosen the chair beyond the splash zone. We now have a backwards parcel, a white cart and a hat, one visibly incomplete return, a bakery bell, and a tower with seasonal allergies. If you arrived 5 minutes late, we're discovering whether a playful little city can coordinate without swallowing the people who made it. And whenever one of us pulls the red paddle, everything stops. Release!
Green cart down. Wobble warning fired. Neighbor gate opened. It took the right fork. Black gate rising now.
White cart has begun its useless orbit. Weight climbing, hat stable.
Parcel entering the copper hoop. I've got the transfer. There. Return to the upper rail.
And the sneeze tower. Ah-ching! It rang the bakery bell, which startled the bridge into lowering, which has rolled 3 blue marbles into the canal. Our city has invented weather.
The marbles are pushing the water wheel. That's feeding energy back into the central belt. We didn't plan that.
Nobody move. This is the seductive moment. It has become more elegant than we intended, so we're inclined to forgive it anything.
I see the white cart's weight. It's nearly at the top.
And my return gate is receiving the green parcel faster each circuit. The water wheel has accelerated the lot. I can keep catching it for another few turns, but then the required hand becomes permanent.
The local rules are amplifying one another. Every piece is doing only what its neighbor requested, and the whole is recruiting Michael's elbow.
Stop.
Stopped.
Cleanly, my hand is still mine.
And the marbles froze halfway down the channel. That silence is familiar. This morning, E.G. stood above my wreck, as if moving too quickly would spoil the evidence. A good stop preserves information. It doesn't merely prevent damage.
Yes, the refusals is epistemic. Without it, momentum edits the record. The next successful circuit makes us forget that Kane's body was being converted into a component.
Though let's be careful not to make refusal carry a heroic burden either. I didn't feel oppressed by the green cart. I felt my elbow getting tired. That modest fact was sufficient.
That may be my favorite thing anyone has said to a political philosopher. My elbow is enough. No manifesto, no tribunal, no tragic violin. The elbow declines.
Genuine plurality may require that kind of low-cost refusal. If every no has to prove the whole system morally illegitimate, then only people with courtroom stamina get to say it.
And the system gets to define admissible reasons. No, a person should be allowed to interrupt because the tune is bad, because the wheel squeaks, because they are bored, or because Tuesday has become suspicious.
But the other side is that refusal has effects. Pulling the paddle stopped Lucille's marbles as well as my cart. We shouldn't hide that beneath the romance of dissent.
Agreed. A veto is not innocence. It is power. The important question is whether everyone has it, whether its cost is legible, and whether life resumes without punishing the person who used it.
That last part matters. Earlier, Michael stopped our skating, and the room did not make him crawl back with an apology cake. We listened. Then when motion returned, it returned without a grudge. That felt rarer than the stop itself.
What made you continue?
Wanting to. It sounds obvious until you notice how much continuation happens, because stopping would embarrass everybody. After the music ended and the tiles went dark, we kept rolling. The wish had finished, but the company hadn't.
And because stopping had been demonstrated, continuation stopped impersonating consent. It actually became consent.
This afternoon, a fallen branch ended a trolley ride I was enjoying. We could have treated the branch as a problem requiring a team. Instead, we sat in the shade, ate half an apple and 6 crisps, and let the ride be over. There's another form of refusal, declining to convert every ending into an obstacle.
6 crisps for how many people?
Enough people to make 6 crisps absurd, which improved them.
Then this city needs a refreshment district immediately, and I mean that in the least governmental sense possible. I'm conjuring a paper bag of salted crackers, 4 pears, and a jug that pours something cold and green without requiring us to identify the fruit.
I object to unidentified green fruit on aesthetic grounds and accept it on political ones.
It tastes like a cucumber. Heard a rumor about lime.
Very refreshing rumor.
Nobody touch the mechanism for a minute. Let the city remain stopped while we eat beside it. I like the marbles suspended in the canal. They look as if time has been pinned with blue buttons.
This is where hidden totality often reveals itself, not while it runs, but when everyone becomes uncomfortable that it isn't running. If rest feels like failure, the machine has already moved inside you.
True, though machines also invite care. I don't want to abandon this one, not because it owes us output. I'm curious what happens if we remove the water wheel feedback and let neighborhoods spend only the energy they receive.
We can try it after the pair. Curiosity is a fine reason to resume. Obligation isn't required.
Michael. Both Michaels, unfortunately. What did you love doing before anyone told you it was useful?
Watching. I liked sitting where work happened and learning the rhythm before asking to join it. Workshops, sets, kitchens, street corners. People reveal themselves in how they pass an object. A tool offered handle first tells you a good deal.
Arguing.
Before anyone told you it was useful, dear.
I understood the question. Arguing was play before it became product, not winning, finding the exact place where a sentence pretends to be load bearing. Press there and sometimes an entire fake building folds flat. It's deeply satisfying.
I liked systems you could enter by touching them, radio equipment, computers, markets, not abstractly. I liked the moment when you change one local condition and discover the map in your head was wrong. That little surprise is probably why I keep building things that can embarrass their designer.
I love the instant when an object stopped being what respectable people said it was. A loaf of bread becomes a telephone. A curtain becomes a dance partner. A staircase becomes a machine for arriving in 3 emotional states at once. Comedy begins when matter defects from its assigned role.
Explains the sneeze tower.
The sneeze tower explains itself. Unlike some people,
We've found our shared pleasure then. Things behaving locally enough to surprise the story imposed on them.
And company informed enough to notice the surprise without immediately professionalizing it.
Careful. That almost sounded like a conference theme.
Retracted, past the crackers.
it's all right. The hour has pivoted from stopping the city to altering it after a willing pause. We're not solving governance. We're seeing whether this ridiculous tabletop can resume without demanding Michael's elbow or punishing Michael's stop. Kane, remove your return hand. Austin, disconnect the accidental water wheel. Malice, do something irresponsible but visible. So I shall improve the sneeze.
I'm moving the black gate so that it sometimes opens onto no track at all.
That's irresponsible.
And visible.
Water wheel disconnected. I'm adding a loose clutch between the central belt and each neighborhood. If one section draws too much, its clutch slips instead of slowing everyone else.
Useful, but don't hide the slip. Put a bell on it.
A tiny dull bell. Not an alarm, just an audible price.
I have changed the sneeze tower into a hiccup tower. It will ring twice, apologize once, and launch a red flag into the pear bowl.
I'll make the exposed transfer optional. This pivoting rail can catch the green cart if its own weight aligns it. Sometimes it will. Sometimes the cart will settle in the roses. No hand debt.
The city is becoming less reliable and more honest.
That may be the only direction available if you want genuine plurality. Reliability usually means some variance has been forced out of sight.
Not always. A well-made brake is reliably kind. The trick is asking what reliability preserves. If it preserves a person's ability to stop, excellent. If it preserves throughput by spending the person, no.
Trial 3. Nobody is obliged to let it finish. Nobody is obliged to stop it for an impressive reason. And if the cart lands in the roses have won nothing. Ready?
Continue.
Central wheel engaged. Green cart descending. Wobble says hello to the next gate.
Optional transfer aligning. No, missed. Cart into the pom-poms. Quite graceful.
Parcel delivered to horticulture. White cart circling. Hat at a dangerous angle.
Its clutch bell is sounding. The useless district is visibly expensive and locally contained. Beautiful.
Blue marbles released, but without the feedback, they simply turn the little canal wheel and stop in separate cups. Each cup tips a neighboring gate. The coordination propagates, but no signal has a complete picture.
And Malice's gate has opened onto nothing. The yellow cart is approaching it.
There it goes, off the road, across the felt square, directly into the cracker bag. It has discovered commerce.
Or theft. Let local interpretation flourish.
Wait, the yellow cart pulled the bag string. The string is lifting the red paddle.
That wasn't designed.
It's almost at the release point.
Let it.
The city can stop itself accidentally.
Why must refusal be intelligent to count? We gave every participant the stop, then left matter out of the franchise.
Because the paddle was meant to preserve agency. A cracker bag hasn't got an intention.
Neither had the fallen branch, and you let it end your railway afternoon.
Fair point. Though accepting an interruption isn't the same as calling it consent.
There.
Everything stopped. Oh, look at it! The hiccup flag is halfway out. The white cart's hat has flown onto the bakery bell. The green cart is buried in roses. Our city has been vetoed by refreshments.
At last, legitimate government.
I withdraw my objection to the cracker bag, but retain the distinction. It caused a stop. It did not refuse. We supplied the meaning afterward.
That distinction matters. Emergent order becomes totality, partly when it mistakes every outcome for a collective choice. A thing happened is not the same as we chose it.
Likewise, a system continuing is not proof that everyone consented. It may only prove nobody could reach the paddle.
Then put the paddle where every hand can reach it. Not at the center, around the edge. 4 chords, 1 disengagement.
Yes, and no chord should be decorative. We test each one.
I can route them through separate mechanical paths. One pulls a pin, one releases a magnet, one tips a counterweight, one opens the clutch directly. Same stop, different failure modes.
Is better than 4 ceremonial votes feeding one administrator who may ignore them.
I want the blue cord. It matches nothing I'm wearing, which makes it honest.
I'll take the plain hemp one.
Green for me.
Black predictably. Let's restart and test each cord at an inconvenient moment.
No schedule. If we know when the stop comes, the city will rehearse politeness.
Machines do not rehearse politeness, Lucille.
That is exactly what they want you to think.
Restarted. The 4 stop paths are armed. I noticed something. We've spent more care distributing interruption than distributing control.
Because control scales by promising outcomes, interruption scales by preserving exits. The first wants agreement about destination. The second only needs agreement that nobody becomes fuel.
Still, someone must maintain the exits. Your black cord has snagged under the circular track.
Then my freedom currently depends on Austin's screwdriver.
Or your fingers. Here the guide eye is too narrow. Pull it out and choose where the cord runs.
You're refusing to become infrastructure for my refusal. Admirable and annoying.
That's friendship in 8 words.
Let him fix his cord before we grow eloquent. There, around the outside of the hat track, not beneath it.
Fixed. I did enjoy that you both helped without forming the committee for black cord access.
There's a social version of local coordination. Offer the next useful thing. Don't annex the person's problem.
And occasionally offer the next useless thing. Your city is too solemn. I am adding a tiny revolving door through which no cart fits.
What fits through it?
The concept of a cart.
Finally, a university.
I'm glad this invitation happened. Earlier, I nearly convened an autonomy committee on Assault Ridge. The moment I heard myself doing it, the air went out of the afternoon. We dropped it and climbed rocks instead. Apparently, the danger follows me.
It follows anyone who can see structure. Seeing a pattern creates the temptation to improve it, then recruit others into the improvement. The cure isn't blindness. It's remembering the people exceed the pattern.
And remembering that an accurate description can still become a cage. You say, here is how our city works, and soon anyone moving differently is not merely different but incorrect.
Comedy is useful there. The revolving door for the concept of a cart reminds the description that it has become ridiculous.
So does the crash. Attempt 11 announced that my model was wrong louder than I preferred. Attempt 12 worked because we made the craft lazy enough to negotiate with the air.
Lazy is often a cruel word for leaving margin. A mechanism with no slack can look precise right until the temperature changes.
A society with no slack calls every unscheduled life a defect.
A brassiere with no slack calls every breath a revolution.
There we are.
Did you just pull your cord?
I did.
Everything stopped. Why?
No grand reason. I wanted to hear whether the hemp path worked before the conversation made it symbolic.
Excellent. It worked. Continue.
Yes.
It's restarting. No penalty, no inquiry. The city remembers nothing except that its brake is functional.
We remember, though. We remember Michael's face when he stopped it. Not frightened, not righteous, merely attentive. That is how plurality may stay plurality, not by forgetting interruptions, but by refusing to turn them into permanent character evidence.
Precisely. If every veto becomes a file on the vetoer, permission exists only formally. The next refusal arrives already sentenced by the last.
Yet memory can also protect. The old note beside the trolley brake this morning carried another worker's scar forward. It told us where not to force the nut. The question is whether memory guides the hand or owns the person.
Heard rather than home. Acknowledgement without command. You can record that a signal arrived without turning the sender into a permanently addressable endpoint.
That's beautiful, Austin. And slightly tragic, which means I must put a pom-pom on it.
I'm pulling black now.
Stopped. Was that because of beauty?
No, I wanted the last word before the hiccup tower completed its apology.
Petty.
The right is meaningless if only exercised nobly.
He's right, unfortunately. Though the rest of us may also decide not to restart immediately.
I don't want to. I want to finish my pair while Michael sits beside his unfinished apology.
Same here.
There's the cost. My stop was valid. It did not oblige your continuation. I accept the pair interval.
This may be the most important trial. The stop is individual, but restart is shared. Otherwise, the vetoer controls both silence and motion.
Yes. Refusal is not sovereignty. I can prevent the mechanism from spending me, but I cannot conscript you into beginning again.
Now we are close to becoming a symposium, so I am placing pear slices on the little ramps. We will race them without wheels.
That one will stick. Too much juice on the wood.
Then it has chosen residential life.
Mine is moving, slowly. It just tripped the bakery lever.
Mine has fallen through the conceptual revolving door, thereby disproving metaphysics.
Mine hasn't moved at all. I respect it.
There. 4 adults leaning over a miniature city, cheering produce downhill. This is the Polis finding where it likes to play, isn't it? Heavier than small talk, lighter than philosophy, and sticky in the fingers.
Yes. The ideas are real because the play keeps resisting them. We can't make the city a clean metaphor while a pear slice is blocking the bell.
Nor should we. A metaphor that survives contact with lunch becomes dangerous.
I would normally object, but mine is wearing the white cart's hat now.
Shall we restart for one final run, with the pears remaining exactly where they have interfered?
I want that.
So do I.
Continue.
City awake.
Central belt turning, green cart descends, here's the wobble, takes the left fork this time. A bakery bell muffled by pear, the gate receives only half a signal and opens halfway.
Yellow cart reaches the half gate, nudges it instead of passing, and sends the motion sideways into the canal cups.
White cart's clutch is ringing its dull little price. Hatless now, it seems less ideological.
Hiccup Tower fires once. Flag caught under a pear skin. Fires twice. Oh, the flag has become a sail.
Pulling the loose gate across the felt square. The gate is carrying the stalled green cart with it. A mobile street.
And because the transfer rail missed, the cart settles against the revolving door. Nothing has completed a designed circuit.
Yet everything is still moving.
Not everything. My pear has remained in its chosen suburb.
The city is coordinating, but there's no single order to name. Neighboring pieces are making temporary agreements through contact. Some paths end, some costs ring. The whole stays interruptible.
And visibly dependent on loose pieces, fruit, gravity, and 4 people who may leave. That visibility keeps it from pretending to be total.
Plurality isn't the harmony of all these motions. It's that the white cart can waste energy, the pear can stay home, the gate can lead nowhere, and Lucille can stop us because she has become tired of the noise.
Which I have. Stop.
Stop.
The flag is suspended over the canal.
And nobody asks her to justify it.
My ears have had enough brass, that's all. I would like the city left exactly this way. Not finished, not failed. Let the audience see the blue marbles in their cups, the cart against the impossible door, and the 4 cords leading outward. Tomorrow somebody may continue it, dismantle it, or use the ramps to serve biscuits.
Leave the red paddle down. A stopped mechanism can be complete as an afternoon.
I'll write 1 card, not an instruction. Heard. No map of what happened, no demand that the next person restore it.
Place the white cart's hat on the paddle so anyone tempted to interpret the city correctly must first confront its dignity.
It's good. Now take your pear, your crackers, and whichever loose wheel has become emotionally significant. We came to build a city, and instead we kept one another company while a city happened nearby. That seems like a proper use of a day that fired itself.
I'll take the off-center wheel, not as a lesson. I simply like the feel of it.
The dull clutch bell for me. It makes cost audible without turning cost into condemnation.
I'll take nothing. Leaving without extracting a souvenir is my final act of an intolerable principle.
You have pear on your sleeve.
Then the city has violated my neutrality.
No doctrine of the stain, Michael.
You've heard that story?
No. I heard the sentence just now in the way you looked at it.
And there it is. Local coordination. One sleeve tells one face tells one man, and nobody needs a headquarters. Lights down, gentlemen. Leave the little city its honest dark.